And now it's time for the latest exciting episode of Doz's Television Workshop.
Hello and welcome back to Doz's Television Workshop, where today we're looking at this. Now, we've seen this before a couple of years ago on the channel. This belongs to my next door neighbour Suzie, and it's the panel heater out of her treatment room. She's an Interex therapist, which is sort of a pain relieving, symptom relieving thing for nerves. And I trapped a nerve in my shoulder and it's been giving me agony. You may have noticed that the Welcome to Doz's Television Workshop bit at the start hasn't been as exuberant of late, but I'm happy to say she gave me a treatment with this thing. I had a couple of sessions and it's very good. It's like a sort of electric stimulation thing, and yeah, I am much better. Anyway, her treatment room is a little bit chilly at the moment. She's heating it with a fan heater because this panel heater has broken yet again. We did this a couple of years ago because all the capacitors in it had unsurprisingly dried out when you look at its construction. So yeah, if you want to go and have a look at that, it was the first time I'd ever used my new ESR meter. So I was very pleased about that. So yeah, let's get it back apart, if I can remember how it comes. I think it's all the screws around the outside, and see what's gone wrong with it this time. A myriad of short screws, and yeah, okay, all comes flooding back. Let's just spin it up this way and see what's going on. Okay, we've got a switch mode power supply down there. Nothing seems to have exploded since last time. Yeah, I need to sort of get this in bits, don't I? Right. Well, that's come unplugged, so that's a start. So we've got no heat output. So here, this is a sort of PTC type heating element, 1500 watts. Don't remember what's in there. Maybe that's over temp. I wonder if it's got an over temperature condition and has just gone out. Yeah, so we have two elements connected at this end in parallel by the look of it. Yes, indeed. PTC1 and PTC2 on two relays there. And this obviously goes via these two lumps here. Now, I'm going to zoom in on that in post. That looks like it's got a bump in it where something's been hot. Yeah, that's suboptimal, isn't it? Right, so let's just see if we've got continuity down from the neutral return via these two back to here. Looking at that, I reckon something's gone and burned up in there. So let's have a look at it. Meter to continuity. I reckon that's actually on the live side, but I can't be sure. See if I can get on that contact there. I think I can. Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah, that's open circuit, look. See, most of repair work is about observation. Let's have a look inside that bump there and see what's going on. What's this piece here? That's a sort of sensor of some description for external temperature, I'd imagine. Let's just see if we can't pop that out quickly. Ah, even better. Right, I shall pop that safely out of the way. So we've got an impressive lump happening in there, whatever that is. So two screws on the rear here. These These are all the same, these screws, little short self-tapping things. Every one of them is the same. Right, what have we got in here? Ooh, it's got stuff and oh yeah. Okay, that's what's happened to that. So this is an over temperature switch, and as you can see, it's got corrosion in it, and actually it's got some moisture going on in there. Now I know Suzie has had a water leak near this, so yeah, that's had it. I wonder if this, oh, it's all fallen to bits, look. That's just terrible. Okay, well, there's our problem. Whether this has failed or not, I think it prudent to replace it. All this is a sort of thermostat. I think by law in the UK you have to have 2 per item. I'm not sure about that, but every sort of fan heater and thing I've looked at in the last few years, they always seem to have 2. Some of them aren't resettable, but this one is a sort of resetting type. But as you can see, that's all corroded to death and is generally in pretty poor shape. So that's what's happened. That's become resistive, got hot with a 1500 watt load on it, and it has burned up. So I think the case is going to be all right. We can clean that up. But yeah, it's all wet in there. Not good. Right. Let us get on the internet and we'll find out what this is first. We need to know what temperature it operates at. Let's just pop that out of the way. You can see it's stuck to the back panel actually with a bit of thermal compound, so that's okay. Right, I like a straightforward repair. I'll just get some cleaner of some description. I want some IPA. Because we should, under here, have the temperature rating of the device. Yeah, there we go. So it's rated. Well, you can see that on that camera. It is 250 volts, 10 amps, 105 degrees C. It probably still works, but I'm not going to risk it with that level of corrosion on there. It's never going to be great again, is it? Yeah, still working, but there's no chance of me really cleaning that up. I don't think. Anyway, you can see it's just fallen to bits. Let's treat ourselves to a new one. Right, it's a few days later. The lovely people at Moreland Supplies have sent me a replacement part. Looks pretty much the same as the other one, even same brand. So that's all good. This one, if I didn't mention it before, 250 volt, 10 amp, 105 degrees, and it is normally closed, which means in the cool condition it is a short circuit. Now if we warm it up, there you go, the contacts inside have now sprung apart and it's gone open circuit. And as it cools, I'm going to use some of this chewing gum remover. Oh, no, don't need to bother, just leave it. There you go. So it is just a bimetallic sort of thermostat, if you like, but a fixed temperature. So that's good. Let's fit it back in the heater. Okay, so we've got a bit of maintenance to do here before we can put the new one in. So let's just get this wiring out of the way temporarily. Yeah, that cover's a bit burnt up. We might just try and clean that up a bit. We need to clean this therm path off the back of here. As a starter, actually it's thermal compound. Let's use a bit of paper towel. Just a bit of IPA. Makes a super easy job of that. Let's evict these cobwebs while I'm in here. Right, and clearly we're going to have to do something with these burned up and corroded connectors. I mean, look, that's just fallen apart in my hand there. So that's shot away. So we're going to need to do both of them because they're both pretty poor, and any resistance in there, you know, we've got a kilowatt. Oh, what have we got? 1500 watts. Yeah, so it's quite a bit of power going through there. So yeah, let's just strip a bit of this back, see where we get to. That's good news because the conductors in there are not corroded. They're in very good shape. Be half tempted to solder them on, but soldering to a thermally sensitive device is probably not the most ideal thing to be doing. So what we really want is some uninsulated crimps. Though they were insulated, weren't they? A sort of Lucart thing is quite capable of carrying that current. But yeah, I'd be worried about the insulation melting. It's all enclosed behind a rubber gasket, so we've got no problem of it shocking anybody or coming down to earth. So I'm going to step over here and see what I've got. Yeah, I've got a couple of Lucart connectors. We shall need the crimping tool. Just make sure that's good. Don't, by the way, attempt to use that sort of pressed tin crimp tool that you find in the cheap sets. Utter rubbish. And these ratchet crimpers, much better. Not that much more expensive. You just need to trim this rubber back a little. Just so I can ensure that the wire has gone all the way into the crimp and is not half hanging out. Oh dear, these are not cheap crimps either. Some of them, I don't know what they make them out of, but they're so soft. You sort of crimp them with 2 fingers in one of those tools and it's just not going to give a good connection. Right, that is good. So we want a smear of doodah on the back of that. Oh, let's clean this up a little bit. I just want to sort of scrape off the worst of that stuff in there. It doesn't need scraping off, it's just coming away just where it's been warmed and blistered the plastic. Right, that's pretty good. So I want to work out where it's going to go. Be about sort of there, isn't it? Let's get some, just a glob of Thermpath on it. It's going to be roughly there, isn't it? Yep. Wiring in and on. Is there a reason why they use 90-degree connectors? Oh, there is, you know. I don't think that's going to fit. Right, let's stop there and find some different crimps. Right, well, it appears if you're in the United States of America or in China, The 90-degree crimp is readily available and inexpensive. Not so if you're in the UK. One, they are more for two than the sensor cost me. And also, I can't get them quickly. So I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do and solder the thing on. Now, like I said, might not be the best of ideas because it's a temperature sensitive device. It's not like the other kind of thermal fuse, which is a one-hit wonder. So this will reset. So I'm just going to daub a bit of flux on there. And I'm just going to solder it on. I can't see any engineering reason why you wouldn't do that. I can see why you wouldn't want to do it in production. Because it takes time and you need to have somebody with a bit of skill. But just here for this repair, I can't see any reason why we wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's just the way it is. We need to get this finished. I need it out of my shop, so let's get on with it. I need to hold that down with the workshop vise. Better that we get this situated in the top before making a mess of it, I think. That goes that way. There we go. Yep. Okay. 2 screws. How am I going to manage that? Well, I made a right meal out of that. So, let us just hope now that whatever's in there is in rude health, and we now have continuity between there and there. We do! Excellent news. Right, so get rid of these blobs of solder out here and just tip that out, give it a little clean, and then put it all back together. Little tip when putting together this kind of case that's perhaps not quite so accurately made as others we could mention is to not tighten all the screws down until you've got them all in the holes first. Last things, let's switch it on, make sure it gets warm. Would you believe it? But there's rocker switch. That appears to have failed as well. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, pop back in a minute. Right, well this thing clearly hasn't read the rules on how to be repaired. We have what appears to be a double pole switch with inbuilt neon by the look of it. Yeah, right. Everything about this so far has been a struggle. Oh, would you look at that? It's actually fallen to pieces. Okay. Right, see if we've got something that'll fit. 16 amps. Oh, it's the same switch. But it is a 2-position. I think the way to work that out is just to insulate the neutrals off and not have the neon. Yeah, and it's a good fit as well. Okay. Right. Just have a look at my box, see if I've got anything else. I don't think I have. Right, that's how it's going to be. it's what we've got. It's needed back in service. So, okay. Yeah, that does fit well. Right, because it's a 3-position switch, I actually bought those as a replacement for the one in a heat gun. So, adequately rated. Let us just work out what goes to where. Any point are those two connected? No. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. Only in this instance, we will not be connecting that neutral. It's got some heat shrink on it already. I think I'm just going to put a bit more heat shrink on it so it can't go anywhere. And then that should be good. Now that heat shrink is just going to stop that from coming into contact with any ground points. Right, back together yet again. Yay, it is starting to get warm. Brilliant news. Let's face it, that was probably a financial write-off the first time I repaired it. But there you go. It's another saved from landfill, and that's important. Thank you very much for watching. Click like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you really soon here on Dozzy's Television Workshop. Cheers now. Bye.
Suzie, hats on right.